guys? Welcome back. Today we're coming at you with a Odd Eyes Performapal deck profile. Let's jump into this deck profile and see what's coming at you. Start things off, we're running the 3 Odd Eyes Revolution. This is just going to be able to make us get to that dragon a little bit faster. We won't be able to get to see our Luster Pendulum as fast as possible. We also want to get to that Art Pendulum, so it's just going to be a faster way to go about it. And also too, being able to bring back our Synchro, our Ignister, very useful. We're also running 3 of our Odd Eyes Art Pendulum Dragon. This is our main high scale that we usually want to see. A lot of times we're going to have this in the scale and be able to finish up with a Vortex and a bunch of back rows, so that's what we really want to go for. Also running 2 Odd Eyes Persona. Persona just make sure we get that extra deck 8 on our opponent, and also being a good defender very well. Also running the 1 Performapal Dissolver and the 1 Performapal Odd Eyes Synchron. These two are just helping us make sure we get into our fusion plays. Our Synchron is going to be very, very helpful to us, making sure that we can get some very good synchros out there and just making sure that we can really minus off our opponent, make them really have to struggle to get over it. Also running the 1 Performapal Celestial. This guy is just really good for making sure we get that extra advantage. If we have a synchro out there, getting effect for that. And all these effects can stack, but you activate it by ignition effect. It comes to the field. If you have an XYZ out there, a synchro out there, you activate his effect, and then it's going to trigger, and then you get that effect after that. The main one that you're really going to go for every time is making sure you got a Pendulum monster on the field. That way you can get that extra search at the end phase. So it's very helpful for the deck. One of the main guys, this guy's probably one of the best Pendulum monsters ever made. This guy is just all around good. Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer, just be able to search this guy off of Duelist Alliance. Also too, being able to make sure whenever he special summon, Pendulum summon, being able to make sure that you can get that pop that you want. If you have your pin scale set up, pop Odd Eyes, get a search, get special summon if you haven't done that with your arc out there. Also too, a lot of plays, just being able to get your Performapal searched out and just get extra advantage in hand is very good for this guy. He can make plays from out of nowhere. We're also running the 3 Luster Pendulum. This guy's just making sure you get that pop, get an extra search. If you have your little fairy, get that extra search, get some trap cards. Speaking of our fairy, we got our Guardian Ariande. Be able to, whenever this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, it's going to allow you to get a search of a trap card. That's just going to be very helpful to you. And if it's in the pin scale, making sure if you got your solemn cards, making sure you ain't got to pay no life points is very, very helpful. And lastly, for the monsters, we're running 3 Chronograph Sorcerer, because this guy can be chained, and allowing you to be able to special summon a monster along with it can help you get the extra advantage on board that you need. That's it for our monsters. For the spell cards, running 3 Allure Darkness. We got a lot of dark monsters in the deck. This deck is one Odd Eyes build that I like, that you don't have to rely on the Odd Eyes engine. The Odd Eyes engine is a very good plus for the deck, and it helps out a lot. But you can banish out your Odd Eyes without worrying about a backup plan. So Allure Darkness in this deck really does help out a lot. I'm also running the 1 Pendulum Holt. And the only reason why I'm running the Pendulum Holt is because I don't want to run Desires in this specific build. I want to be able to make my plays and to be able to make sure I have my Solemns in hand. You can switch this out with Pot of Desires. It's not going to really hurt that much, but just being able to make sure you make the most optimal plays, I really do want to play this. And being able to load up the extra deck in this build is very, very easy. Being able to pop 2 different scales whenever you get your Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer to get his effect, you're already going to have 2 monsters in there, and it's going to be easy too with cards like Sky Iris and stuff like that. So being able to get this effect to resolve is not a problem. Also running 3 of the best searchers, Spiral Flame. Spiral Flame is just amazing. Be able to search out your level 7 Odd Eyes, but the main thing with this one is in this build is mostly for spot removal. Getting the Odd Eyes on the field and be able to spot remove your field and letting your back row do all the work for you for your next follow-up turn. Also running 3 Duelist Alliance. Duelist Alliance, making sure that we're able to see our Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer, being able to get to our Art Pendulum, get to our Duelist Alliance, whatever card we might need that has Pendulum in its name, be able to get that. It's very crucial. And it's something that can be very easily done in this deck too. Also running the 1 Summoner's Art to be able to make sure we get to that Art Pendulum as fast as possible. Running the Terraforming and 3 Sky Iris. Sky Iris is a very key card in this deck. Just being able to search out your odd eyes is amazing. But being able to protect your pin scales from being targeted effects, whether it be your Performapals, whether it be your Magician, or it be your odd eyes, is very key. And that's something that can help you out a lot. And lastly, for the spells, we're running the 1 Called by the Grave, because this is just something if you won't need to snipe out a graveyard effect, you can do it, making it so that your opponent can't activate those effects for the rest of the turn. But also too, you can eat some hand traps if you don't want to eat all of them. And that's it for our spell cards. For our traps, running 3 Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike is I think this is a better one to use, especially depending on, if you want to set up going against your opponent, you can eat some hand traps. But this right here can also lock down some hand traps. So you can usually set this up if you don't get hand trapped. If they start going into later game states, it's a whole lot less eating of life points. You don't want to sit here and be eating a bunch of life points, even if you do have, your fairy and the pin scale. But making sure that you can eat out as little as you can and still survive is very crucial. And lastly, for the trap cards, we've got the 3 Solemn Strike, or Solemn Judgment. You want to place Judgment on your opponent because they're going to try to be hitting you in the biscuit as much as possible. But as long as you can put the Judgment on them, that's the part that matters. And that's it for our main deck. For our extra deck, we're running 1 Performapal Gatling Ghoul and 2 Odd Eyes Vortex. Gatling Ghouls, just making sure you get that extra burn damage in on your opponent, being able to you're eating up your own life points if you don't have your fairy in, so you want to kind of counterbalance that as much as possible. And also your Vortex, being able to make sure that you can get that free bounce and that free negate can really be very crucial to you. Also run the 1 Ignister, gotta run Ignister. Run the 1 Meteor Burst and 1 Naturia Beast. This is a very good way to get spell cards negated for a deck. Your opponent, they can hit this with Ogre, but if you have protection protecting this and your opponent has to make plays with spell cards, this can really eat up your opponent's deck really fast, and there's a lot of times they won't be able to have answers to this. I like that a lot. Ignister is just all around good. It can put another monster on board for you and also get that non-spot removal. And Odd Eyes Meteor Burst just being a great card for making sure that you can hate on, battle effect monsters, just making sure your opponent can't activate none of their monster effects in battle is very helpful to you. We're also running the 1 Odd Eyes Meteor Burst, Tornado Dragon, and the Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller goes good with your Naturia Beast. A lot of times, if you get this and that set up at the same time, your opponent tries to activate spell cards, they have to start milling off the top of the deck, they start getting graveyard effects. Go ahead and lock out those graveyard effects and get a double lock on them. You got your Tornado Dragon, just making sure that you can clear off that back row, whether it be during your standby phase or on your turn, depending on how you want to go about it. And Absolute, just making sure that you can get another Odd Eyes onto the field. And 2, you can leave this on the field. It's going to be a little bit slower of a negate, but it's going to be a battle negate. If you want to set up so that you want to protect your Naturia Beast and your Abyss Dweller, you can go into this and making sure that you have some type of protection and making it just a little bit harder for your opponent. We're also running Cross Sheet, Dragon Balls, and IP Masquerena. Cross Sheep is very good in this deck. You're running a lot of level 4 or lower monsters. Being able to bring those back whenever you get Vortex, very good combo. Your your Dragon Balls, just making sure that you can always get that wish to pop off and, you know, make your opponent get the sad face. And IP, just being able to make sure you make some moves on your opponent's turn, really catch them slipping. We're also running the Unicorn, Appaloosa, and the Warlord Dragon. Unicorn, just being able to make sure you can get that extra spin back. It's something that can really be detrimental to your opponent if you can chain it during their turn. Making them go minus off the board can be very helpful to you. Your Appaloosa, just being able to get them extra monster gates on board, is very helpful to you. And your Warlord Dragon, just sometimes it's good to put a Warlord out there. Sometimes you need to steal some stuff. But that's it for the deck profile, guys. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of the deck, any improvements that you've made on the deck. Also, too, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Find it right down there. Also, too, be sure to gun that like button. Thanks, guys, for all your love and support. We're out.